So sometimes when people ask me how expensive a knife can get, they're surprised if I tell them 500 bucks, 300 bucks. They're surprised if I tell them a price point that's over $100. Um, but if you've been in the knife industry a while, you know that the sky is really the limit, especially when it comes to customs. I would say your average sporting knife that's a decent quality is going to be around the $50 range, and you can actually get stuff that's even lower than that and it'll serve you pretty well. But once you start getting to the higher level collectible and really handmade one-off customs, you can really go all out. So I picked out an example here that is a Michael Walker number 12, and it's $26,000. It's actually a little bit more than that. So when you hear that, you're like, wow, a knife is the price of a new car. And it sounds surprising. And I just want to talk about why that is. There's a couple things that drive the price of a knife up. I think the main one is the reputation of the maker. If they're a really highly desirable knife maker, it's going to be very expensive because their stuff is rare. They probably have a waiting list. Some of these makers have waiting lists that are easily, 5 years plus. Like you basically just can't get on it. The other thing is they are just known to be extremely high level craftsmen. You have to think of these knife makers more as artists than they are like they're not just making a tool, they're really making a work of art. And their techniques and their creativity and the way that they express their designs and the materials they pick are like just top notch. Michael Walker in particular, he's particularly special because if you ever heard of a liner lock, it's actually a Walker liner lock. He's the one who actually invented what probably like, I don't know, half of folding knives use as their locking mechanism. Um, Basically, I don't have a good picture here, but um, it's I'll insert it in the video, but it's basically the locking mechanism where when a folding knife opens, the liner cuts over and stops the blade from closing. He actually designed that. He's the one who invented that. So he's definitely been in the game an extremely long time. The top level makers have probably been doing this for decades, 20, 30, maybe 40 years. The other reason why the price is really expensive is the materials. So they'll use like really high-end steel, different layered steel. They'll do finishing processes that are like very complicated to get like certain looks. The handles and everything will be a very rare material, high-end material. The materials themselves will be expensive, but more importantly, working with those materials are like they're harder to do. Like to do it properly when you're working with more high-end material, it takes a certain level of craftsmanship. So that's the reason why some of these knives can become extremely expensive. And I've seen stuff I haven't seen it personally, but I've seen it like in pictures and seen stuff that went for crazy high amounts of money at particular custom knife shows that were, you know, engraved and gold plated. Some of them use like rubies and stones and diamonds that are like embedded in the handles, and those things will go for like 80, 100 grand, no problem. So if you're wondering why a knife can become so expensive, those are some of the reasons why. You got to think of them more as one-off art pieces. If you go to an art studio, you might not understand why, a particular painting or whatever is, 50 grand, $1 million, whatever it is. And the reason is because of the reputation of the artist and the scarcity and just the overall demand.
Knife is oil.